Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll talk about one very important factor, a phenomenon that sometimes can make or break the success or even enjoyment in life for the spiritual, educated, highly achieving woman. And this phenomenon is called imposter phenomenon that pop culture later changed into imposter syndrome, like pathologizing it, much to dismay of creator of this phenomenon, of not of the phenomenon, but creator of this term, Professor Pauline Clancy. So in 1978, Pauline Clancy, in cooperation with another college professor, Susan Imes, issued a groundbreaking article called The Imposter Phenomenon in High Achieving Women. And once this article was published, it just opened a floodgates of letters and calls to Clancy and Imes, which was saying, yes, now finally I know what is wrong with me, what is bothering me. And these letters were coming from very successful, in the eyes of the society, successful high achieving women, saying, now I know why I am so fearful, why every day I'm fearing that they will find me out. So if you have this fear, no matter where you are, if you're a CEO of your company or CEO of a huge company, or if you're the high achieving mom in your kids, in your kids' schoolroom, or if you're working towards your PhD, you got your PhD, but you feel, oh my God, that's not me really. How can I keep pretending? Because if they find out this is really me or who I really am, they will just kick me out of my position or won't let me get my degree, or maybe just exclude me from, from participating in my kids' school activities, right? If you feel like that, listen on. But let me tell you right away, we are, and I put myself there, in many cases, working even with clients. I feel like, oh my God, and they pay me for this, even though they end up very happy. I have it coming up quite a few times in my life. So if I have that, let me tell you, we're in a very good company. Let me read you the quote from a brilliant poet, Maya Angelou, who said, I have written 11 books, but each time I think, they going to find me out. I've run a game on everybody, and they are going to find me out. So yeah, very common, very common. So now what we'll do, we'll talk about how can you tell if you have this phenomenon. Then we'll talk about how it reflects in your life, the outcomes of this phenomenon, and some possible causes, so you will understand how it might have appeared in your life. And then we'll talk about the most important part. You have it. How do we going on forward, living with it, and how we can challenge it and change it, which is very possible. So the one very quick way to see if you have it is going to Pauline Clancy website. You can just Google her, Pauline Clancy, Imposter Phenomenon. Her website will come right up. And on her website, she has IP, Imposter Phenomenon Scale, which takes 5-10 minutes to complete. You get your score, you answer a few questions, get your score, and say, hey, most likely I'll have it. And it will even show in a level to what degree you have it. But right now, there are some other ways to kind of observe yourself and say, hey, do I really feel that I'm an imposter? The first hallmark of people who feel they're imposters in whatever they do is attributing their successes to temporary causes and failures to stable causes. So how does it work? I am getting, becoming a chair of a department. I'm thinking, oh, I might have put some extraordinary effort here, but I will not be able to duplicate it next time. So, oh my God, so what's going to happen? They will find me out. Or I will think, oh, it's just that position opened up just in perfect time and I was in a perfect place. I got so lucky. Temporary causes is a lack of some extraordinary effort that will not be possible to duplicate. And then I get fired. It's like, of course, I just don't have enough skills for this position. I just don't have enough talent. I'm not able. This is stable causes. So attributing successes to temporary causes, such as luck or some extraordinary effort, and attributing failures to stable causes, such as abilities, talents, and skills. People who don't have IP phenomenon usually do it in the other way. They will attribute their successes to stable causes and failure to temporary causes. Do you see how it changes the paradigm in your mind? Okay, this is one way you will know. Another thing which is very common with people in imposter phenomenon, doesn't have to go hand in hand, but can happen, is external locus of control, which meaning things are happened to me. It's not I make things happen, but they happen to me. Internal locus of control, otherwise, I can make things happen. I can put more effort. I can gain more skills. Okay? So we know if you're always feeling like life is kind of playing with you and you don't have enough authority, you don't have enough strength to change certain things in life that you don't like, things that we can change, then most likely you might be fallible to imposter phenomenon. Also, people with imposter phenomenon has lots of difficulty of taking positive feedback. Why? Because they don't believe it. They're feeling like other people are really being kind to them, or they're just playing some games with them. Okay, but they usually latch on to negative feedback because they have the subconscious belief that, yeah, that one is true. So notice, if you usually dismiss positive feedback, but really take to heart and really believe negative feedback and concentrate on that, well, there is a chance you might have it. Denial of your success. If you really feel like, if you look at that from the outside point of view at your life, or where you're at, say, any outsider would say, I'm doing pretty good. Or even by your own measure, you feel like you're doing good, but something inside of you is telling you, no, not enough. You haven't done much? Most likely. Or my success is just luck of a draw. It just happened to me. Yeah, most likely. In some cases, we can even be underperforming. And when I say underperforming, it doesn't mean just at a job, at life, in relationship, in spiritual growth, in anything. Underperforming meaning working or acting under our true abilities. Why? Because we're so fearful of success. Because in our mind, success, if we achieve something that I can be possibly proud of, will inevitably lead to failure. And failure, it's not something that we equipped or feel we equipped to handle, or something we're trying to avoid by any ways. So how does it reflect in everyday life? It can reflect in rigidity, or meaning very lack of flexibility is due in performing your job or doing tasks or even daily routine. Why? Because we want to be in control. And fear of losing control means, hey, I will fail, or people will find out if I change any of my routine, tried and tested routine, people will find out that I'm not the one who they think they are. Okay? Another way can be low goal setting. So I'm just thinking, you know what, who am I to apply to this, the director job? Let me just stay like I'm being senior analyst. Or who am I to put even myself out there on this dating website? Who would like me? Can be that. Damaged sense of self. It's like overvalue what it is in this case in imposter phenomenon context. It's overvaluing others but undervaluing yourself. So for the same type of achievement, I might praise the other person and genuinely feel that she is doing amazing, but minimize and really diminish myself, feeling and genuinely feeling that the same exact things, exact the same way, my life is unfolding the exact same way, I feel I'm still a failure. Okay? And as an outcome of that, lots of people with imposter phenomenon experiencing anxieties, fears, and depressions. Okay? So what can possibly cause that? What can possibly lead to imposter syndrome? One of the major contributors, it's of course a family dynamics. It can be either a child, a girl, in some cases a boy, but mostly girls, had a very valued sibling, and the parents always reminded the child how brilliant the sibling is, and how this child is lacking some skills and abilities compared to the sibling. Or it can be another cause. As example, can be the only child or the praised child in the family who was told by the parents that she is the most brilliant thing out there. And nobody is smarter or more successful and better than she is. And she might even trust it until reality kicks in. And then reality kicks in more and more and more. And she might start feeling fear that, oh my God, I'm not that, but I cannot disappoint people who will think that I'm all that. So here is again perfectionism, analysis paralysis comes in, and desire and heart-driven desire for external success. Okay? Childhood trauma. Childhood trauma can, of course, contribute to low sense of self and fear that maybe we can go and achieve outwardly, but inside we always feel like this little hurt child. Well, cultural conditioning. In some cultures, people are just brought up to put themselves down in a way of never acknowledge their successes, but always acknowledge, saying, well, always acknowledge their failures, but never acknowledge their successes. And in the case of successes, defer like, oh, that is not me, that is my group. Like as example, how I was brought up in Russia in 1980s. In class, I could never say, yes, I achieved that. It was, well, not exactly. It's my class or my team, or somebody helped me. That was kind of a cultural thing. And another big contributor can be earned helplessness. What earned helplessness is, and when life really keep beating us up, and we feel like maybe we will struggle and struggle and struggle, but so many things happen that can be sometimes outside our control, that we start feeling that nothing will do matters, or nothing, and not just matters, but we're not good enough. Maybe somebody else could have changed it, but we can. So that can be another contributor. And in some ways, not direct correlation by any means, but in some ways it can be introverted orientation. When people start looking at the issues within themselves and then put these issues outside, while in extroverted orientation, people will look for sometimes for causes from outside and bring them inside, in this case. So by this time, you might say, yeah, I might have this imposter phenomenon. So what do I do with it? How do I heal it? Is it even possible? Absolutely. It takes time. It takes time and effort, but and let's look at it as chronic illness. But the chronic illness that can be put in remission or even healed. So we'll become very, very gently, we're treating it very, very gently and kindly, but it's the same way we're applying certain medicine to it. So this medicine, let me give you what kind of medicine you can apply. The absolute first step in working with imposter syndrome in yourself is self-compassion. So self-compassion, you usually takes 5 steps. You can go back and watch my video on self-compassion in the same channel, but I will give you a quick rundown of how do you become self-compassionate to yourself when you feel that imposter syndrome is coming up. Imposter, see, when I'm saying syndrome, imposter phenomenon is coming up. First you say, I'm noticing anxiety, I'm noticing this fear. Okay, so you're noticing your feeling. Then you say you feel, yes, I'm feeling my anxiety. Step 2 is feeling your feeling. Step 3, you accept your feeling. Of course I'm feeling anxiety. And you say, well, because that's happened to me in childhood. Or because my life was so hard. Because I don't believe in myself. Of course, we validate acceptance of validity of your feeling. In the 4th step, say, yes, it's painful. How can I really want to feel better. I really want to help myself to reduce my suffering. So genuine desire to reduce your suffering. And the 5th step, you ask yourself, what can I do to reduce my suffering, to make myself feel better in this moment? Can be something, can be nothing. In this case, you just stay with yourself with an open heart. And again, if you want to learn more about self-compassion, go to the same channel. I have a couple of videos about self-compassion, where you can see these detailed steps. Okay? Another very practical steps. It's like when you feel like, especially you are facing important presentation, right? And you start having this feeling, or you're going to meet with a client, and you have started this feeling, oh my God, they will find me out, and you know you will not able to perform at your utmost potential. So here is a trick. What you can do. First, feel what you feel. Do you feel fear? Do you feel anxiety? It's usually hand by hand. Or you feel maybe anger with yourself, which is very possible, or anger with somebody else, sadness. Just write it down. Acknowledge it, write it down on a piece of paper and put it in your pocket, in your purse, but somewhere where you know it's not going to fall out. And take it to the meeting with you. What it does, it's kind of separate us from this feeling. Okay? Or you can imagine your worst outcome. Say, oh my God, they will think that I should not be there, or my client will fire me, or in this meeting they will fire me. You will just write the word in your mind. They're going to fire me. And imagine a computer screen where you're seeing your worst outcome. They're going to fire me, or they're going to humiliate me. And see it like in a different colored letters. Or see how these letters in your mind, how they dancing on your computer screen. Or you can sing the same worst outcome in funny voice, or in the voice of the cartoon character that you like. Oh, they going to fire me, oh, something like that. Okay, as you can tell, my singing skills are somewhere out there, but hey, with my fear, I'm fearful to sing, but let me put it in my pocket and let me do it anyways, okay? So this is some quick ways how you can work with it on the spot. Longer ways, I would say, if you're not working with a therapist will give you tools of how to work with. But if you're not working with a therapist, you can apply some therapy tools yourself. First tool, of course, work with your inner critic. And inner critic is that voice that comes up in you. It says you are a fraud, you're gonna fail. That's the inner critic voice. Be kind. First of all, I would say be kind to this inner critic. In some cases, it is recommended to be harsh and very strict with this inner critic. But I'll tell you, it has a validity. But do it if you either feel really drawn to it, or mostly if your therapist advised you. But start with being kind to your critic and just say, it's some kind of a part of you that's trying to protect you. So I say, I know you're trying to protect me from pain by evoking this fear, or by evoking this anger, or by bringing this sadness to me. I understand, but I'm an adult now, and I know my abilities, so I honor you for being there for me, but I'm not gonna listen to you, okay? Because I know you're just a scared child. I have compassion for you, but I'm not gonna take your lead, okay? I'm gonna lead myself. That's very, very quick and nutshell work in a critic. Then you can imagine dialogue with a friend, where this friend is you, and she is sharing the exact concerns with you as you have on your mind. And see what you tell her. This is a friend who you really, it's not you. It's not, don't take your daughter or your mom or your sister as example. Take your friend. The friend who you really care about, but a little bit separated emotionally. Then see what you tell her. And tell the same thing to yourself. Okay? Then you can write a story of your life. Story with all the successes, all the failures. And then look at the story as an objective observer. You can even write a different name. That can not going to be story as an example of Irina. It can be story of Mary. But I'm writing my life story, but I'm calling myself Mary here. And then you read it and say, if it was somebody else's life story, would I feel this person got where she got? By luck or some kind of unusual efforts that she cannot replicate, or she got here because she's really talented and able. Just do that with yourself, okay? And accept this part of you, this imposter part that's coming up. Accept it with kindness and compassion, okay? Just, it's another maybe child in you that didn't get enough praise in childhood or got too much praise and doesn't know now how to balance it. Or it may be some really hurt child which is hiding in there and doesn't want you to get hurt. Just get to know it. And if you get to know it, be kind and compassionate with it, but know that you need to treat it as a child, as kindness, with love, with gentleness, but yet you're not going to be led by this child. You're not going to do what this child says. Why? Because now you are grown, capable, beautiful, deserving adult. So with that, I would leave you for today, and I hope you come back to my channel. If you like what we're talking about, please click like and please subscribe, and I see you next time.